Any other things?
We're saying 65 West Market Street. I just sit here in total amazement as we go through some of these situations. And I go back to the minutes of the last council meeting, which I was reading. In the July 26th Finance Committee meeting, the city administration was requested to review the parking and related costs on Main Street and whether the RCAP funding can be used. Mr. Reynolds indicated that he was not voting for the project on Main Street because he didn't know how much it was going to cost or whether it could be done. I think you heard very clearly that you can get 27 parking spaces from Mr. Alcohol for $50,000. And you were willing to vote 4 weeks ago to spend $380,000 for 9 spaces. So I'm a little confused with the logic here and the reason to pull apart. I mean, it was very clear tonight, you can get $50,000, get you 27 spaces between the bridge and the other side of Market Street. Another $50,000 if you want to fix the drainage problem along the curb near the Moravian Church and across the road, and another $50,000 to $100,000 to fix the drainage problem on the other side of the street. So, okay, if you add it all together and you do it all, it could be $150,000 to $200,000, of which RCAP, although the city hasn't really spent any time to talk to Hector, which I find funny, RCAP's going to pay half of that. So I guess I wonder why we are voting against something because we don't know the cost when Mr. Alcohol stated very clearly that you can get the parking for $50,000, half of which is going to be paid for by the parking authority. So we're turning down the ability to put 27 more parking spaces before the biggest retail season in Bethlehem on the south side of the businesses that need it the most. There's 3 businesses closing down on that down there. Parking is a clear part of that. And by the way, it isn't a hotel. We have our own parking lot. It's the other businesses that are up and down Main Street that need this parking. So I just don't understand the logic of we don't know the cost, so we're going to vote against preserving $60,000 to do a $50,000 parking study. At the very least, you could get the parking done and come back later and fix the drainage somewhere else with some other funds from somewhere else and fix the sidewalk on the other side of the street later with something else. But in the meantime, you can get 27 parking places for the businesses that need it. And Mr. Dolan mentioned we need to put the money where the money is made. I just want to remind everybody that the city gets real estate taxes from these businesses, the city gets mercantile taxes on the products sold, and the city gets earned income tax from the employees that work there. So if that isn't putting money where the money is going, we're only talking about $50,000 here. 25 net out of the city. I'm shocked as I watch the politics of this city. It just is phenomenal to me. The lack of common sense to get something done.
Any other comments?
This is Crazley Center Street. I'd like to call your attention to the Express Times, Friday, July 16th of this year, under the Legals Public Notices. City of Bethlehem, 21st Century Town Square Demolition Package. Bid request, project number MS-10-W02, signed Alvin H. Butts Incorporated, Craig J. Walls, project manager. Mr. President, can you relay any information regarding which structure or structures will be targeted for demolition?
The answer is no, I don't know.
Anyone? Does anyone have that information?
Mr. Alcohol? No? Well, we'll try to get that information for you.
It's a question for Mr. Hannah, I believe.
Well, that's correct.
I've not looked at the bid package, so it could be, demolition could be the realignment of the street, and and so I'd have to look at that, and doing a bid in the big bid package does not ensure that the work ultimately is full.
Would you be able to provide council with some information on that? Mr. Barrett? Sure. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
My name is Mary Pine-Grass, 321 West 4th Street. Mr. Haynes, you are 1,000% correct. 1,000% correct. We are spending money here that we don't have, hoping that we will get back money that we don't know we're going to get. I don't know how you learned math in school, but I learned the Euclidean principle, which is this. A plus B must equal C. If the project costs $100,000, you should have $100,000 on this side of the equation. I heard this statement, the people here want an ice rink. That's wonderful. When I went ice skating, many moons ago, my parents bought my ice skates and the whole business and took me ice skating. My parents didn't expect anybody to build an ice rink for us. Our parents provided for it. You cannot operate a city the way you are operating it tonight. If we don't have the money in hand, we don't do it. If we have an obligation to repay, we must repay that debt. Now, I thought the school district was out of whack when they're going back 10 years when they had an agreement, and now they don't want to take a payment of $3 million. Anybody with brains would say, give me the money, because if I sit down and figure out how much money I will save by putting that amount of money on my debt, the principal will be lessened and the debt, the interest on that debt would certainly be a whole lot less. Am I right, Mr. Wrighton? Thank you. Now what I heard tonight disturbs me. What is more important, an ice rink or a cardiac monitor? There should be no question. The money should be immediately granted to the cardiac monitor. Yet, where are these parents? Where are they? Where do we spend, where do we have the most traffic? You have people going up and down Main Street every single day, do you not? How many times do these people go to the ice rink? Where is the greater need? The greater need is for adequate parking for the business community. We cannot survive as a city of Bethlehem without a vibrant, thriving business community. That's common sense. But I'm beginning to think common sense has taken a vacation. You are not listening. Again, as I said to you, go back and learn Euclid, better known today as algebra. 2 plus 2 equals 4. And if you have 2 plus whatever, you don't get 4. The equation here is not balanced. You are using money you don't have with the hope of getting it back whenever to do this project because somebody likes it. Is that how you run a city? I don't run my house that way. I am very disappointed. And I thought the school district was mixed up. Well, they are. But I will make a compliment. The Bethlehem Redevelopment Authority has shown some skill. They made a deal. The deal shall stand. It is not up to the school district to define what infrastructure is. their duty is to educate our children to do better than some of us did tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments, Mr. Grubb?
I like her too.
Damien Grubb, 2420 Anderson Place. Powerful words, Mary and Bruce. I'm reminded of some lyrics from one of my favorite songs, and those lyrics are, "There are none so blind as those who will not see." And I'm flummoxed as well at the way this discussion went tonight. But you've done what you've done. I would caution you, if you advance that Main Street parking, to make sure that there is low and moderate income benefit with what you want to do down there in the use of that CDBG funding. I just wanted to make some observations after last week's Finance Committee meeting in the city budget. We've been made aware that there are a number of large receivables from the stakeholders, the Bethlehem Parking Authority and the Alex Mill Partnership, but nobody's told us what's being done to collect any of that money. And council doesn't seem to be asking those questions. We found out that there was a great deal of fund borrowing that went on, and yet nobody has said anything about the schedule of repayment. Council doesn't seem to be asking those questions. We've been borrowing, or the city's been borrowing, I certainly didn't make this decision, been borrowing from the earned income tax money that the city collects for other communities. First of all, that money doesn't even belong to the city. They're only the collecting agent. It belongs to those other municipalities. I wonder how they feel about having their earned income tax used as a float to keep the city afloat. Again, there are none so blind as those who will not see.
Thank you. The gentleman over here.